Hi everyone, my name's Delilah, aka Assassina-san. I hope everyone's 2021 is treating them well so far, at least personally. My 2021 definitely started really sad. I lost my cat Bruce, which those of you who have watched my content quite often see him on my chest, looking up at me with loving eyes as I play whatever video game I'm playing on a stream or on a recording. And I will miss that so much, so that I'm only letting you guys know that, not to make you sad about 2021 or to feel bad for me, but just to let you know that that's why my content has been rolling in a lot slower. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that my own personal life kind of impacted that, but I'm hoping that now that I've grieved and some changes are happening in my life, that I will be able to focus more on creating videos and streaming and things like that. And I'll let you guys know more of what's to come on my channel as we go. But for now, I just wanted to look forward to 2021 in terms of video games, and I want to talk about my top 10 most anticipated games of 2021. I'm gonna list them from 10 to 1, 10 being the least most anticipated, or the, not the least, but the least out of the 10, and number 1 being my most anticipated game. But before I do that, I'm gonna go down each month, and whatever games that we have confirmed release dates for, I'm going to let you know which game out of which month I'm most anticipating as well. Of course, games are gonna be delayed. We have a whole year worth of events, summer of games. I don't know if they're doing that again, state of plays, Nintendo Directs, all that stuff, which I'm hoping to live react to if time permits. I'm sure we'll get a lot more release dates and a lot more game announcements as we go. For now, I'm going to be going based off Game Informer's 2021 release date list. Here we go. So, okay. So for January, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I've been watching Cobra Kai. It's actually been helping me get through this death a lot. I'm like, Cobra Kai, that's a show. I guess they're making a game. I won't be playing that. Usually those don't tend to be good, but hopefully it is. I always want all games to be good. So the 2 games in January that I'm most looking forward to is Hitman 3 and The Medium. I think I'm going to prioritize The Medium because it's different. Hitman 3, I played the other Hitman games and they're very good. I feel like The Medium is like a nice horror title and it seems to be very unique. After I saw gameplay, I'm a little less excited for it than I thought. Not that it looks like bad, but I feel like I wanted something a little different. I'm still looking forward to that game. So I would say number 1 for January would be The Medium, number 2 being Hitman. And that's pretty much it. Cool. I'm glad the Yakuza Remastered is happening. That's great. But that's a rabbit hole that I'm not ready to approach yet. Okay, so for February, I have Neo 1 and 2 for free. So I really don't plan to get a remastered, but that's cool. I think the game I'm looking forward to is Little Nightmares 2. Actually, today or yesterday, Outriders was confirmed delayed till April. So that would have been one of those 2 for February. But for now, it's going to be Little Nightmares, which is coming out February 11th. And for March, Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS5. I definitely want to get into that, but it's not my priority for March. My priority would be Returnal. It's that roguelike shooter game, and It Takes Two, which is a nice co-op game made by the same people who did A Way Out, which is a really fun co-op game. So I would say number 1, Returnal, number 2, It Takes Two. Prince of Persia, oh my god. Fuck. The remake. Yeah, I would say that's number 3 still. I'm more interested in playing new games, but I am curious. It also didn't really look good, but I am curious to see what they do with this remake. So that would be number 3. All right. April, Nier Replicant. I need to play Nier Automata first before I get into that. Well, no, I don't really have to do that, but I want to, because it's, I think, the superior Nier from what I'm hearing. But I think for April, yeah, it would be Nier and Outriders. I think I'm gonna prioritize Outriders though, because that's something you play with friends. Nier is a single player experience, so I could just kind of, start and stop that whenever I want. May, I'm most looking forward to Deathloop. Hell yeah. Well, there's only 2, so not many options, but Deathloop, I'm super excited for. I love Arcane, and it also looks really fun to play with people. June, Back 4 Blood, that's all that's there, and that's probably what would be my pick anyway. I'm looking forward to playing that with friends as well. So, to be announced, these are games that don't have release dates yet. I thought that Resident Evil 8 was coming out in April, but I guess because it doesn't have a release date, we can't really say that, because that would be my number 1 for April. 12 Minutes, I'm mildly interested in. Babylon's Fall, I'm mildly interested in. Okay. Chorus, I'm minorly interested in. When I say minorly, it's just I don't know enough about these games. Cyberpunk PS5, I already platinumed it. I don't know if I want to revisit it, even though it'll be much better. Disco Elysium for PlayStation 4. I definitely want to play that finally, now that it's coming to PlayStation. Elden Ring, hell yeah. I want to see more about the game though, but I do have faith in From Software. Far Cry 6, that was delayed several times. I'm definitely looking forward to it, although I've been fatigued with Far Cry games because they're kind of the same every year and they come out too often and they're not too different from each other each year. They kind of are falling into the Assassin's Creed camp before, when Ubisoft released Assassin's Creed like every year. They're much better products when you give them a few years, and I miss them a little more. So I want the same with Far Cry because I really like that series, but I feel like it's becoming stale. However, John Carlos Esposito's in it, and he is just such a good villain, a good actor. So that's what's making me more excited for it. Ghostwire Tokyo. Wow, I can't speak. Ghostwire Tokyo. Hell fucking yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. Okay, God of War. Hell fucking yeah. Like, why wouldn't I be? God of War Ragnarok, I think, is the name we have so far. Halo Infinite, it's been delayed, but I am looking forward to that. I kind of want to go through the Halo series again with Matt. Hogwarts Legacy, definitely want to see more about it, but I am looking forward to that. Jet the Far Shore, I'm mildly interested in. Kena Bridge of Spirits, I'm pretty interested in. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I never beat all the Mass Effects, so I definitely want to play that. I don't know if I'll play it right away. It depends what else comes out the month that comes out. And Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, super duper excited for that. Resident Evil Village, also Resident Evil 8 is the other name for it. Skull and Bones, what? I thought that game died. Well, that's not one of them. Yeah, I thought Horizon Zero Dawn was confirmed for 2021 as well. I don't see that here. Let me go back to H. Oh, it is Horizon Forbidden West. Oh my god, you guys probably saw me pass that and were like, what? Are you crazy? Definitely. There's actually a game I didn't see on here either. Scorn. Okay, there we go. See, I just missed them. I'm so sorry. Wait, was Black Myth Wukong on here too? I fucked up, didn't I? No, I don't see it here. Probably because it's not confirmed to be coming out in America. I think it's just a Chinese exclusive game, which sucks because it looks so good. The freaking trailer blew my mind. It looks like a Souls game, kind of like Souls meets Journey to the West, which is super dope. The bosses and enemy designs look really good. I have things on here that I thought were coming out this year. Gotham Knights, was that here? I wanted this to be more organized, but now that I'm looking at my list, okay, it was here. So I just missed a lot. I've powered through that, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we saw Scarlet Nexus course, Elden Ring, Hogwarts. Okay, so I think we're good now. Those are all the games that I have. So we're up to date, so the ones I just named. Okay, so let's go through the list. I'm gonna add a number 11, because there's one on this list that I'm not sure about. So we'll start with number 11, just in case. The Medium. Now, this was actually higher on my list up until yesterday when I saw gameplay on it. The gameplay seems like a combination of previous Blooper Team games, which is like a lot of walking, kind of like Until Dawn. Had a lot of that, but the concept seemed really interesting and it seemed very scary, which I'm looking forward to. It's funny because the more I see on these games, the listing is definitely gonna flip-flop. A lot of my listing is pretty much based off what I know about either the previous games in the series or what I've seen, and after seeing more of the medium, I'm less excited for it. But it still looks really good, and I'm still going to play. In fact, that's gonna be the first new game that I play of 2021 at the end of this month. So I also like the idea of the upside down world, which kind of reminds me a little bit of Stranger Things, which I really like, but of course it doesn't have that 80s vibe. I'm just curious about the game. It seems really unique and interesting and scary, which I really like horror games despite it not being October, but now that the holidays are over, I'm definitely ready for a horror game. Number 10 is Scorn. I initially had this below the medium, but after I saw the medium, I was less interested in it, and it's funny because I'm putting Scorn above it based off a trailer, based off seeing less of it than I have the medium. That's just the reality of these lists. You can't really anticipate much until you see more. So I'm, you know, not confident that this will match up to what I ultimately like, but Scorn has that H.R. Geiger kind of alien style art, if you will, and it seems really scary, really creepy. I guess maybe that's what I'm looking for in 2021, despite the world already being scary. But I really like horror games. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've liked them more and more. I always liked them, but I feel like horror games are really getting better and better as time goes on, and that's just because like sound design and graphics really contribute to horror games, and I feel like because graphics and sound are getting better, thus horror games are getting better. So I think that's what's happening, but I don't know. Number 9 is Back 4 Blood. This just seems like a fun game to play with friends. It's basically Left 4 Dead, but I know my partner wants to play this, and I'm sure other friends will play this. It'll be over the summer, so it'll be a cool thing, like after being out in the sun all day, riding a bike or whatever, which is something I like to do. Kind of coming home in the evening or on a rainy day and playing Back 4 Blood with friends. Seems like a really good time. I love me a good co-op zombie shooter. Number 8 is Hogwarts Legacy. Another game I haven't seen enough of, but I like the idea of a Harry Potter RPG. What we did see of the game looked pretty good, but I'd love to see gameplay to see how they're going to implement all of the Harry Potter lore into the game. Now, the shit going on with, you know, J.K. Rowling is a thing, but I can't help how much I love the franchise, and, you know, I want to support the developers that are working hard on this game, regardless, but, you know, that's not why I want to play the game. I just love Harry Potter, and I also think this game looks really cool. So looking forward to seeing more on that. That's number 8. Number 7 is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The thing about Ratchet & Clank is I feel like it's going to use the DualSense features a lot, like Astro's Playroom did, or Sackboy Adventure, which I still haven't played, but I heard great things. I do want to play it. And Ratchet & Clank games, especially the 2016 one, are just super freaking fun, and I like all of the different weapons that they're adding to the game. I think that's just going to be a really good time. I'm looking forward to it. I also feel like that game looked most next-gen out of the other games that we've seen so far coming out in 2020. Okay, number 6, and this is the one that, like, okay, fine, you can knock it off, make the medium number 10 if we're gonna take this one off, but number 6 is Black Myth Wukong. Now, I know this game is not confirmed to be coming out in the West, which they should. Journey to the West inspired, so make a fucking Journey to the West, please. That game looks so good. Now, it's just based on one really long trailer of this game, but holy shit, did I like what I saw. In fact, when I saw that, I was like, this is my most anticipated game. Then I remembered certain other games that are coming out, and also new games were announced for 2021. Which brings me to my number 5, which is Resident Evil 8. I thought this was coming out in February or January, but maybe it got delayed, and so now it's coming out in April, but there's no date. It's just perhaps coming out in April, I suppose, but yeah, everything I've seen on this game, another horror game, seems really good. It's the sequel to Resident Evil 7, which I really loved. Probably one of my favorite Resident Evil games after 2. It looks like they're making a shift in the vibe a little bit, but still very scary. So Resident Evil 8 looks good. Number 4 is Elden Ring. You guys know I fucking love Souls games. I'm not really a big Game of Thrones fan. In fact, I've only seen a few episodes of Game of Thrones, believe it or not. I do like the idea though of that aesthetic and setting being implemented into a Souls-like game, because From Software games make really good enemy and boss designs, so I feel like that would go really well with the high fantasy setting of Game of Thrones, since Miyazaki is working with J.J.R. Martin, is that his name? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm fucking that up. We only saw like a 2-second trailer, and this is falling on my number 4 just because of how much I love Souls games. Because really, I haven't seen shit about this game, so that might change. I don't even know if they're even gonna keep the same Soul style. Like Sekiro did a lot to preserve the Soul style, but it was a completely different like combat and gameplay loop. So this might be also different, like different than all of them. It might even have an easy mode, I don't know. Number 3 is Deathloop. This was initially my number 1 after I saw more from it and after I saw the Black Myth Wukong trailer. I love arcane games. I love how stylized it looks, and it seems like a super unique concept with the time loops, but also with like co-op gameplay. So I'm just curious to see how this game is gonna feel once you play it, because everything I've seen so far looks extraordinary. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn was my favorite game of that year, and I have no doubt in my mind that Horizon Forbidden West will be one of my favorite games this year, if it actually comes out this year. But it's conflicting with my number 1, which is God of War Ragnarok, because I don't know how Sony is gonna release 2 behemoth of Sony exclusive titles in 1 year. But then again, they did it with Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, but it felt a little different because Ghost of Tsushima was a new IP, and these are existing IPs, so it almost feels like Aloy and Kratos are going to be fighting for the number 1 spot. But we don't know. I mean, you know, there's a lot of surprises that happen that come out that wind up becoming people's game of the years, and it might just be a game like Hades that, you know, surprises everyone and becomes our favorite game of the year. So, you know, we don't really know, but God of War Ragnarok's number 1, Horizon Forbidden West number 2. I have existing experience with these games. I love these games. They were my top 10 of the generation, God of War being number 1. I think Horizon was like top 7 or something like that. So I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to adore the hell out of these games based on my previous experience. But once again, Horizon, we had like 1 trailer. God of War, we had a fucking logo, and yet it's still my number 1. So we'll see more to come, but if it's anything like the initial games, I'm going to fucking love them, and that's it. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching this. Let me know your number 1 or your top 10 games of 2021 that you're looking forward to. Look forward to me releasing a few other things before we get started on 2021 content. I'm still gonna release the Ghost of Tsushima Legends story wrap-up with Matt. That should be releasing this week. I'm also gonna do a video review of Cyberpunk. Once again, I'm sorry I didn't do this sooner. I very much so intended to until life happened. And then, yeah, I'll be streaming and or recording the Medium when it comes out. I'll definitely do a stream initially just to see if this is a game that I want to stream or if it's something that I want to record. So more to come. And I'm hoping to get through my backlog because so far there's not that many games confirmed. So I'm hoping that I can chip through my backlog a little more like I was able to in the beginning of 2020. That way I can wholeheartedly and undividedly focus on the 2021 new generation games. We're here. New generation's here. 2021 is here. Games are what keeps me going, and I just thank all the developers for working on these games and giving me something to distract me from sad times, from the shit going on in the world, and for giving me something to be passionate about so then I can then create stuff for you guys that are watching at home. Anyway, before I get all mushy and sappy, thank you for understanding, and I look forward to spending more time with you guys. Take care.